can be toxic and carcinogenic. Today we're outside Whole Foods, not because I'm picking on Whole Foods, just because it's the closest supermarket. And we're going inside to look at different foods to see what's in these foods. What unexpected ingredients are you getting when you go shopping? To talk a little bit about how toxins can add inflammation, which ultimately causes you to gain weight. All right, let's start with something positive. So this is awesome, right? On the back it says organic dried pineapple, which is awesome because that's what you want in here. And to be honest, it's a product of Mexico. So countries other than the United States do not use glyphosate. So this is probably an awesome treat that you can enjoy, and it won't have toxins. All right, let's look at, looks great, right? Peas and protein, so that seems great. But when you look at the ingredients, the second ingredient is vegetable oil. So canola, safflower, and or sunflower oil. So the number 2 ingredient here are toxic oils that are actually derivatives of what's left over from making gasoline. So I call them petroleum-based oils. They are really pleasantly named sunflowers and canolas, but that's the number 2 ingredient in these snap peas. So let's talk a little bit about vitamin water. My kids love it. They see the word vitamin. So you know we do vitamins all day long at SRQ Med Spa. So I wanted to go through the ingredients. After the reverse osmosis water, the number 2 ingredient here is crystalline fructose. So fructose is another word for sugar. And then it has less than 0.5%. So you know 1% would be 1.0. So 0.5% is 1/2 of 1% of vitamin C, B5, B6, and B12. So this is a very small amount of vitamins in your vitamin water. And then it has electrolytes, but it also includes chromium, polynocate, cane sugar, citric acid. Citric acid is a toxin that looks non-threatening, but it turns out is not one of your favorite ingredients. And then vegetable juice. So this looks really great packaging, but basically it's really expensive water. It's $2.89 for really expensive water with some chemicals in it. So let's talk about Amy's Pizza. While basically it says it's organic, there's a couple things you need to know. One of the things is that the cheese in here is made with a derivative called rennet. So rennet is a non-cow milk derived cheese manufacturing product. So it is not cheese, it's rennet-based non-cow milk product. And of course we've got sugar and our favorites, safflower oil and sunflower oil. Somehow they have to put these oils in everything we eat. Drink almond milk. Oh my gosh. So if you've ever made almond milk, if you've noticed, you can't really milk an almond, right? You have to sort of smash it to smithereens. So what you do to make almond milk is you soak it in water overnight, and then you put it in a blender and you turn it into a slushy. And then you drain it through a cheesecloth. When you make your own almond milk, you're gonna see that it's really watery. So if it's too watery, what are you supposed to do? You have to add gum. So they add guar gum and gellan gum, as well as salt to add flavor to it. Basically, almond milk is just watered down almonds with some gumminess added to give it some texture. Okay, so we have recently just talked a little bit about rennet, but let's talk about cheese in general. So there's a warning on here that says, made with milk from cows not treated with RBST. The FDA has said there is no significant difference between milk from cows treated with RBST and untreated cows. No test can distinguish between milk from treated and untreated cows. What is RBST? Why do they have to put a warning about something on here when we don't even know what RBST is, and why would there be no difference, and why would it be undetectable? That's kind of a weird thing to put a warning on when you don't know what it is. And then on top of that, obviously, we have powdered cellulose to provide caking. Cellulose is paper. They've basically powdered paper. This is covered in cardboard so that it stays, so that the bits stay separated. Interesting. So, easy snacks. I often come to the refrigerated section, but you really need to read what's in these products. When I read through all of this, among other things, xanthan gums, that's another gum like we got with the almond milk. This contains a bioengineered food ingredient. What does that mean? What is a bioengineered food ingredient? This should be just ingredients that I could have bought in the vegetable section of the supermarket. So I don't know where I would pick up a bioengineered food ingredient to cut in here. So why did they put it in here? I am a giant fan of kombucha. This is essentially a fizzy drink that can replace sodas. There are no sodas. All sodas are toxic and bad for you. So with that said, when I look at this kombucha, it is a fermented and has naturally occurring alcohol. That's okay, but do make people aware of that. But there's just nothing in here that I am all that annoyed about. I love kombucha. This is a great choice when you're looking for something to drink. I love this company. So this product comes from France. So products that come from other countries don't have the glyphosate in them. So glyphosate is Roundup. This is made in France. So first of all, we know it doesn't have a lot of the toxins that would never even be mentioned in it. But secondly, most importantly, this company was in France during World War II, and they helped save millions of people from death in the concentration camps. This family has continued to create the same product that they've made since 1942, and it's a great product. So let's just talk a little bit about bread, because Dave's comes out really well on some apps, right? But first of all, look at the number of ingredients that are in this product. So if you've ever baked bread, you know that you use a yeast, flour, water, eggs, salt, and a little butter. So that's a lot of stuff just right at it. So right out of the gates, I always wonder why there are so many ingredients. And it has to do with shelf life, right? These things have to last for a while. So all those little words probably mean something, but for me, one of the biggest concerns that I have with store-bought bread is because in America, the wheat drying process, the final step, wheat after being cut in the field is sprayed with glyphosate, which as you know is Roundup, as a drying agent to prevent the wheat from blossoming during the process where it goes from the field to the warehouse. The way to avoid that is to buy non-American wheat. And you can buy online Egyptian wheat and even European wheat, and none of that will be treated with glyphosates. So any wheat, any bread that comes in a bag has been treated to extend its shelf life, and any bread that comes from America has probably got glyphosates in it. So I love Terra potato chips. They're so tasty. Of course, like all potato chips, they have canola oil, safflower oil, and sunflower oil. So we've got those bad oils in it. We hate those oils. But here's the frightening thing. On the back of this bag, there is a California Proposition 65 warning. Very few of us actually go do our homework and see what this means. But what they are raising our attention to is that there are either toxins, microplastics that are getting onto our food from the packaging, or some of the side effects that are created, chemicals that are used in the deep frying of the vegetables can be toxic and carcinogenic. So very few of us look at this warning, but it's here and it's telling us that there might be dangerous chemicals in here that we don't even know about. The whole point of this is that I want you to be aware that we have to make good choices when we're in the supermarket, that there are toxins and there are ingredients in our foods and we don't know where they come from and they cause an inflammatory response. So what does that mean? So you eat something that's a safflower oil or some sort of an oil that you don't know your body doesn't know what to do with it, and your body then tries to protect you by encapsulating it in fat. That is called an inflammatory response, and it makes you kind of puffy. Your body pushes it to your liver, and if your liver can eliminate it, your liver will do its best to eliminate it. But if it can't, it'll push it right in front, and that's where that belly fat comes from. So inflammatory agents that sneak into our body come in as toxins. I am so excited that you are now aware and learning and choosing. If you have any other questions, you can follow us at srqmedspa.com. Make good choices.